In this simple video, I'm going to show you how to use the tool called Quizlet. So there's a couple of different ways you can use this tool. If you have a course that's particularly heavy with terms and definitions, this is a fantastic tool to use. And if you wanted to just create one single set, then you click Create up here. If you want to create multiple sets for a single course, so for example, my psychology course, maybe for each test, test 1, 2, and 3, I want to create a study set for my students, then I might create a folder for that class, which I have done here. So you can use either option. You can just create a single set, or you can organize your courses by folders if you're going to use Quizlet for more than one course. So I'm going to show you a sample that I've created. For my test to review, for now I've just entered in 10 terms to practice with, which you can see listed there. And if you were creating your own set, you would click Create, and then it would allow you to add it to a folder when done. So let's say I want to create, I add title, I'm going to enter term and definition. You can see I've already kind of prompted this. Definition. Quizlet will prompt you to choose your language preference before you can save the set. You only have to do it once for term and definition, so you can just click English or whatever language you prefer. You enter in your terms and definitions, you'd click Create, and then it would create it, and it prompts you with a link that you can share online for your students to complete. You can do Share Google, or you can do Share using Remind. So that's how you create a set. I'm going to go back to the set that I created to show you a couple of different ways that you might have your students use the set once you've done creating. Okay, so as mentioned, I created one set with 10 terms and definitions, and you can see the very first option that comes up is in flashcard mode. So insecure ambivalence. Students can think of how that would be defined, and then when they think they have the definition, they click and see if it matches the definition. And that goes on for each of the 10 terms, or the 10 definitions and terms that I've created. They can do it in full screen format as well if that's a bit easier. And you can see how, again, they can go through each of the flashcards there. Students might also want to click on Learn format. So in this format, they can do practice. I'm just going to press any key to continue. So it comes up with the definition at the top and then options down at the bottom, and the student has to click which option they think goes. They just drag and drop, just click on it, clicks correct or incorrect. So let's imagine I got this one incorrect. Let's click on something that I know is obviously going to be wrong. See what it says. It'll tell you to study this one. It'll give you the actual definition, the correct answer, and then what you said, which goes with the correct answer. So it's really great in that it shows them, where they need to maybe open their textbook or course materials and study a little bit more, and then they can continue and hopefully build some confidence getting correct options. So that's the Learn option. I don't generally use Write and Spell, but again, you can check those out for yourselves if it kind of matches with your course. You can also click the test format. Now this one's really great because Quizlet does very well to populate the test. So it'll come up with some written questions, some matching questions, and multiple choice options. But you can see they've really done well to kind of match some of the terms that actually do go together. And then students would just enter in their answers, as you can see, click on the correct multiple choice. And when they're done, they click Check Answers. And the test will let them know which ones they got correct and incorrect. So the way I've created this set, I was able to play it in flashcard format, Learn format, test format. And then if students want to play it in more game type format at home, you can click on Match or Gravity. For the set that I've created, the Gravity game does not work very well. And the reason for that is because the definitions are a little bit lengthy. And if students don't type them in exactly as they should be, they're going to keep getting incorrect answers. But the matching game, which I'll show you briefly, does work well with the set that I've created. So students, it all comes up here. It's timing them over here. So it kind of like puts them under pressure. They can play against themselves multiple times. They could play next to a peer and see who gets it faster. And you really just drag and drop, and it'll tell you when you're going to the right one, the wrong one, and it'll disappear when you get the right one. So you just keep dragging and dropping until you find the right one, and then it disappears. And again, it's timing them there, which kind of puts pressure and makes it a little bit more fun and interactive. So those are all the ways in which students can use it if you are creating a set for at-home study. You can also use Quizlet live with a class. So if you want to create an interactive test review, you can create all your terms and definitions, and then when you're ready, you click live. And when you click the live, it comes up with a room number. Students get onto their devices, so laptops or smartphones. They log on, create a username, and they are put automatically into groups. And so you might want to encourage them to sit with their group in the classroom, and you'll have your laptop or screen displayed for students to see. And then they'll start coming up with terms and definitions, and they literally compete against one another to see who can get the terms and definitions fastest. So again, it makes it fun and interactive, but it's also a way of learning and reviewing material that you might have covered in your course to date. It's a really fun tool for that. So I hope I've shown you all the steps of Quizlet. One of the problem-solving things I would encourage is that once you've created your set, do try the set out for yourself to make sure that it fits in the format you want your students to use. So again, I'll show you the example gravity. It doesn't work well for my set because students typing in a definition for any of my terms is going to be too complicated. So if I put harmful substance and click enter, it's not going to come up as me getting the correct answer because I've entered in too complicated of a definition, which you'll see once the term falls all the way to the bottom. Name given to a substance, chemicals that can be harmful when pregnant women use them would be too complicated for a student to try to write that answer in to accomplish that game. So just try your set out for yourself to make sure that it fits well with whatever format. And then if you're posting it online for your students to play and do on their own, you might just want to add a note of which formats you would recommend that they use it in. I hope that was helpful.